Hello everybody. So the stocks covered on this channel are on fire today, probably because of the rate cut coming, the 0.25 basis points rate cut, which seems to be confirmed at this point. The market is also pricing in 3.25 rate cuts, most likely. At least that's what I think we'll get to until the end of the year. So, 75 basis points total until December 25. The market is very excited about this, and this is very good for risk assets in general, growth stocks, as well as for hard assets. Why is it good for hard assets? Because money printing is about to resume, and this is happening at the same time as Saylor is spotted at the White House trying to talk about a bill for a U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve. Very bullish for Bitcoin. We're going to talk about strategy in a second, but here just to say, so many of the stocks I cover on the channel are up nicely today, but the indices are flat-ish to down, and this is normal. They're waiting for the speech. All eyes will be on the speech of Powell tomorrow afternoon. Even Tesla is up, and of course Tesla is one of these highly rate-sensitive stocks, as it is seen by the market as an auto company, and auto stocks do well when rates drop. As people buy a payment, people don't buy cars. Lots of goodness. Let's talk about strategy. So, strategy is back a little bit, right? I mean, it went up more than Bitcoin, so strategy behaved the way it is supposed to today. Note that per strategytracker.com, really the low on MNAV was 6 days ago. It was 1.41. We are at a 1.43 right now. So the bottoming of the MNAV, in my view, seems to be confirmed. Strategy now at $335. I hope we're getting out of the valley of despair, especially as Bitcoin seems to want to close at 117 or like get past 117,000. Positive stuff. Pretty happy about that. Stretch still doing nothing, but I would watch Stretch over the coming days as the market realizes that interest rates drop. When interest rates drop, interest yielding preferreds should go up in value to match the risk-free rate, will now be lowered. And so that's a highly positive. Another big positive is, of course, the performance of the Bitcoin miners. And so maybe there is a sign to be read in the Bitcoin miner performance, a sign to be read, a good omen as to what could happen to strategy, because, oh boy, are they rebounding very nicely today, very nicely. Of course, iron. I've covered iron a few times on this channel before. I was way off. It did more than a 3x. Iron. I own iron, but it's a very small position for me because I was never all in on iron because they were not all in on Bitcoin. They were selling all of their Bitcoin, and so I never liked that. And so that's the reason why iron was such a small position for me. I have bigger positions in Mara and CleanSpark, especially a little bit in RIOT as well. I like these three a lot, and they've had a good comeback. This is good. Much of a CleanSpark quote unquote pump was related to a tweet about the CEO and saying that the market doesn't believe AIHPC. I would argue that the market doesn't believe much in any of these miners. I mean, it's been such a valley of despair. They don't just not believe AIHPC. The market doesn't believe in Bitcoin mining. The market has been so skeptical of these stocks. So it is nice to see them rebound. And of course they would rebound because there is this hybrid play. They are this hybrid play between hard assets, right? They hold all the Bitcoin on the balance sheet. These three miners keep their Bitcoin on their balance sheet. CleanSpark, albeit, sells just a tad to finance their electricity bill. But otherwise, they have big Bitcoin stacks. It's a hard asset play coupled with a growth play, and should I say an hyper growth play, perhaps if they get to sign a deal with one of these bigger HPC players, with one of his bigger, maybe even hyperscalers, who knows, right? They could be that growth play because of the electricity access that they have, because of those contracts to access very cheap electricity that have been signed at the depth of the bear market before AI was a thing. All of these companies have huge access to electricity at very low cost that was secured before AI was a thing, and I think the market is starting to price that in. It is well deserved, because we've been waiting for this for a very, very, very long time. So many people moved on from the miners, moved on because they have this inability to sit on a stock for years, and so they just move on to the faster horse. Maybe not a guarantee ever. Anyways, let's talk about two stocks that I think are still deals today. So these, of course, they ran, right? RIOT, CleanSpark, Mara, Strategy, they ran today. I mean, I obviously think Strategy is still a deal right now, but you know what I mean. Today was a run for these stocks. Let's talk about a stock that was down almost 8% at one point today. Anyways, down 5% now. This stock is HIMS and Hers. HIMS and Hers, as always, is down because of the way the media reports the news. That's the way I look at it. It's down because of the way the media reports the news. You go and you read the top stories on HIMS today. You just type HIMS on Google. You could say the FDA just slammed HIMS stock, US FDA issues warning. HIMS falls 8% as FDA issues warning letter. And you have to scroll down the page to find out. And kudos to Reuters. Kudos to a company when kudos is due here. They have the best reporting on this, not focusing on HIMS, but noting that it's Lilly and Novo also got letters. And when you dig a little deep, but the market doesn't do that. The algos don't seem to do that. As much as AI as they have, they don't seem to do that. It's more than 100 letters that were sent to all sorts of companies, and the only thing that was quote-unquote original in the letter or seemed edited in the letter was this part, which is at the center of the letter, which is like the FDA doesn't like, how they say, same active ingredient as Ozempic or Wegovy, and they don't like clinically proven ingredients. Note that anything research related, they usually never like the word proven. Proven is a word that scientists really don't like. But the point is, okay, so it's nothing at all. Like, okay, just change the language. You just say it's a GLP-1 peptide. That's it. Just say it's a peptide, and that's it. I think most people know by now what semaglutide is, right? It's a GLP-1 peptide. You can just use that. That's perfectly okay in my view, and I don't think that's any central to the thesis. And by the way, I don't think HIMS is being targeted. They send this to just about everybody they could find. I guess they have someone that they paid to do an online search and go search websites. I don't know. But if the website even has language that says, if you are located abroad and selling into the United States, you may know that the product may be seized upon entry. And they send that to HIMS. Like, come on, how do you not know HIMS is located in the United States? So it's as though the FDA, you do a spreadsheet, you write 2 sentences, and then you go into Word and you do like a mass mail into Word. It's as though the FDA didn't know how to use AI to customize letters, and it's just a mass letter. And this sends the stock down 8%. So pretty crazy stuff, if you ask me. HIMS remains this highly volatile beast. Down 8%. I wouldn't be surprised if we're up 8% tomorrow on a rate cut. I wouldn't be surprised about that at all. Or maybe we'll be down 10%. I don't know. I just find trading HIMS funny at this point. Whatever. Doesn't matter. This is good for volatility and options traders. CorMedix. Let's conclude with CorMedix. Again, I have no idea why CorMedix was down so much today, but based on what I saw in a comment on Patreon, it seems like some people are saying, or the bears are saying, that they could be selling more equity sometime soon. I have no idea. When I look at that on X, it takes me to Discord, and I don't really follow a lot of circles on Discord, so I have no idea. Apparently, there's a rumor saying they will issue more shares, and you know what I'm gonna say? Who cares? I mean, they just bought a huge company. That's why they already issued more shares. That's why they already did that. You may remember that stock was $18 or $17 back then, and I was a little upset about it. I was like, okay, you typically do this before the good news, not after the good news, but but of course I entirely forgave them because I knew why they did that. They did that because they had an acquisition that was not announced yet. So the management, in my view, is not that amateur. The management knows what they are doing. If they need more cash, maybe they'll do another raise, but it's not a guarantee. And even if they did, it's like they got punished already for something that they haven't done yet. Right, the stock got punished for something it hasn't done yet, and so short interest is 16%. That could explain some of that volatility. Either way, to me, nothing has changed at all on CorMedix and was down, up to 9% at one point. So I consider this a gift. If you look at my spreadsheet, CorMedix is 0.04. It is still one of the cheapest companies out there, and it is super profitable at 41% EBITDA margin. You can see it has better number than HIMS across the board, and of course it's a business that's dependent on reimbursement, and it's a smaller business with less revenue base, and so it's more volatile. But I consider it a very compelling opportunity, and I look at the down 8% as a gift. Still a minor position from, not minor, but still a smaller position for me. If we get another drop, this might look like a screaming deal, right? When we get to like a 0.03, if we were to get that would look like a screaming deal. I just don't think this means much the move today. And I like CorMedix at this price, and so do I like HIMS at this price as well. And of course, strategy always. I think strategy will rebound, but people. The bears are so loud on strategy. It's like you can't say anything positive without people being mad at you for liking strategy. So anyways, that's okay. That's why this channel is not investment advice. That's why this channel is only entertainment. This is not financial advice. Please please subscribe, follow me on Patreon, follow me on X. Thank you for watching, and have a wonderful, wonderful day.